We're
So
live.
I'm gonna
Ah!
I'm gonna do a jingle. It's a new thing. Ready?
Alright,
Welcome back to the Stupid Podcast Time Times. We talk about movies and shows and things. Today we have Danny on, and
Yeah, it's our first guest in a while.
this is no promise that we'll be consistent after, but we'll try to pop in when we can, and hopefully in the spring and summer we'll be more consistent with movies and shows
And
that are
things.
current and old and stuff. So
And things, Nathan. Don't forget the things.
what?
I said, don't forget the things.
Yeah, the things too. We'll talk about those things. Anyway,
Yeah.
today we're going to
You
talk
like the
about since Spider-Man: No Way Home's coming out in December, we wanted to go back and talk about Homecoming and Far From Home because they're the best Spider-Man movies,
yeah.
right?
Starting off with controversial opinions.
Yeah,
I hate how I have to say that's a
yeah,
controversial
that's not
opinion.
controversial, but
No, but
anyway,
it is
I
though.
can
It
already feel
is.
the haters coming in.
I know.
With all
But
the
how do we want to start? Do we want to start with Homecoming, or do we want to start with Tom Holland, or
I say
I
we
think
start with Homecoming.
okay?
okay, well go by the guess.
Before that, do we want to start with Civil War because he's in that technically?
Sure.
I feel like there's not much to say
I know
about it.
he's in
You
it.
just say he's a
He's
good
just in it,
character and I
yeah.
like him.
He just
I was excited
wants
because I
to.
love Spider-Man.
But I do want to talk about like what I saw a fan edit. They're like, what if Andrew Garfield was in Civil War instead of Tom Holland, and then he carried on through the MCU? And all the comments are like, oh, this would have been so much better. Wow, he's so much more mature. This would have fit better with Tony.
Have you seen how like
It's so weird. Why do people like? Because like, didn't the Andrew like the Amazing Spider-Man duology get like so much hate, and now people
Yeah,
just love
it's
Andrew
literally
Garfield
just the
all of a sudden?
prequels.
what happened with the prequel? Yeah,
It's just a revival. It makes no sense.
yeah.
Yeah,
People are just like no, because yeah, no one liked those movies. Like no one agreed that those were
yeah.
the best Spider-Man movies ever. And then just recently,
Especially the second one.
oh, here's Black
Playing with it. But yeah. What, Steve?
Panther. No, like, I can't say it. It was from when we were hanging out. I just know.
Okay. Anyway, on to Spider-Man: Homecoming. We start with general thoughts. So I guess this was, his first solo MCU one or first solo Spider-Man movie since The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was just atrocious. And we'll talk about it later with that, the issues with that in our podcast that we outlined, but there were way too many villains, too much studio meddling, and like reshoots and just all that stuff. So,
Not a good movie at all.
I hope that's not foreshadowing for No Way Home. But anyway, Homecoming. General thoughts, Danny or Steven?
Okay, I'll start. Homecoming, good movie. It was. Um, I personally like Far From Home better, but it's really close for me. Um, but Homecoming, I thought it was a fun, like, teenage relatable movie that Marvel had released. Whereas, like, I don't know, what were the other movies around that time? When was that? It was like
2017. It was like, I think it was
yeah.
Guardians 2. Like, I guess Black Panther was kind of close to that, and Doctor Strange.
I think it came out during the summer, right?
Yeah, it was like July 2017.
Yeah, I mean, like, both the Spider-Man movies don't necessarily feel like it feels like Peter Parker is the main character rather than Spider-Man. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and I like that. It's like focuses a lot on his character growth rather than him actually in the suit, which is cool. Even though like seeing him in the suit, like it's not like you don't get to see him in the suit, where it's
Yeah.
like something like Thor, where it's like you don't get to see his powers at all. Um, but you get to learn a lot about the character. I feel like, and he's like a really likable character, you know.
Yeah. I feel like that focus
Yeah.
like stays consistent and Far From Home too, like not to get into that, but I think they do a good job in the MCU of like making you actually care about Peter. Because
Yeah.
I think I as many fanboys as there are for the other two, like Spider-Man, I think it's very hard to connect with them. And I think like they give you enough time with Tom Holland in development where you like actually like, give a crap. So
Yeah, I feel like I agree with that, but I also feel like, well, I don't like remember Far From Home like too much. I think I remember like most of it, but I feel like in Homecoming, like you see Peter Parker like the most, like, like his character aside from
yeah.
the suit. And then Far From Home, you see more of Spider-Man, like him in the suit more. And I feel like in No Way Home, it's gonna progress again like
Yeah.
him being in like the suit like the most
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he's
so as
ever been.
well.
yeah, that's
Especially
fair.
based
And I
on
feel like the tones of the each movie kind of convey that too, because like No Way Home and Homecoming, they are like not the
oh, for
same at
sure.
all.
I mean,
Yeah,
even
so
beginning of Far From Home to the end, like you can kind of feel it a little bit too.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Homecoming is definitely just like a high school movie.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
and like in No Way Home, he like people are saying like, oh, Doctor Strange is like Spider-Man's new mentor, but like like that's
yeah,
not true at all. I don't think like Peter Parker is like he's all on his own in this movie. I feel like,
yeah,
well, that is if Toby and Andrew aren't
I
in it, but
do.
that's still up in the air.
yeah. But I think
So
that's like progressively that makes sense for his character. I mean, like he is supposed to be learning to be like on his own and supposedly like well not supposedly but like some say like the new head of the Avengers or like that's been speculated inside the movie, right? That was in Far From Home, like some reporter asked that. But like he's like that's kind of where his character is heading towards. Um, Especially with Tony gone, like obviously he's gonna be taking on more responsibility as a hero. So I feel like Doctor Strange being his mentor wouldn't make much sense. And like maybe the other Spider-Mans kind of as like a final push towards, like finally being on his own.
Yeah. I think a lot of the complaints about the mentor stuff and Tony and all the other MCU projects is that like they say that the issue with Tom Holland's Peter Parker is he's so reliant on the other Avengers and like Tony as his mentor. But I think they're like the whole point of Homecoming is his arc is like he moves away from needing that mentor, and he has to learn what it means to not have the suit. And I think Tony saves him like once or twice, but the rest of that he doesn't even have his suit for the final battle. And he's like slowly shifting away to responsibility. And you see that in Far From Home. And I mean, No Way Home, even like I don't think Doctor Strange is really as much of a mentor as people are like, trying to play it off as.
Yeah.
yeah, even in the trailer, like they seem like not like enemies, but like there's definitely like tension between them.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you can just like see Peter's character mature through the two movies. Like in the beginning, Homecoming, he was like eager to do whatever he could as Spider-Man. Whereas like once he like kind of, I don't know, took on more responsibility as a hero, he kind of like saw that maybe he didn't what like he wanted to live his life, you know?
yeah,
Um and, like Far From Home, obviously he just like didn't really want to be involved that much.
yeah. Into the specifics for Homecoming, I'm convinced I'm like the sole defender. I guess this is sort of likes, but of like Vulture as a villain, because I think he's so like grounded and not ridiculous compared to like so many of the dudes. Like that year we got like Ego, the Living Planet, and just like Doctor Strange was like Dormammu and stuff. But Vulture's just like a dude trying to make a living for his family, but he's doing the wrong thing and you know it, but you understand it. And I think that's like, that's what you want from a villain. And I think MCU villains get a lot of hate, but I think they did that really well. And I liked Vulture, so
Yeah, it's like super close for me, but I liked Vulture just slightly better than Mysterio, but I like Mysterio a lot too. But like the only thing like with Mysterio is like that got so like fans so like excited is that he was like executed perfectly
yeah,
as he was in the comics. But like I like you said, I understood Vulture too.
yeah,
Um and like Ego, yeah, like his motivations are like, you know, what's the word, like cliche, but
yeah.
like he was just like fun to watch. You know what I mean? He
No,
was kind of
yeah,
like charismatic.
Yeah.
And Vulture, I think the same thing too, and Mysterio. I think that's like what Marvel does well, is that
yeah,
they make their villains like exciting to see,
yeah. That wasn't a knock on
not
like the
boring.
other ones. I
Yeah,
just think
Yeah.
Vulture's like you're out on.
Yeah. Well, now they have started to make their villains better. I mean, in the beginning they were like pretty flat characters. Um, but yeah, I definitely think Vulture is like a up there for one of the better MCU villains. Just because he does have like a character and like you can see where his perspective is like coming from, like almost. I mean, he's not super closely related to Killmonger because he's not like as manipulative and
Yeah,
whatever. But like, it's like the same idea where you can relate to where they're coming from. Um, yeah, so I think his character was executed really well, especially as like he's kind of taking on the role kind of like a Green Goblin because he's like has this close connection with like Liz is like his
Yeah.
daughter. It's almost like Harry. Um, like that. At least that's how I thought of it when
No,
I
I
saw
think that's right.
it.
Yeah.
And like while it's not like as overarching as like the Green Goblin is, kind of, whereas like in TASM, he's kind of just like the main, you know, like well, Oscorp is like the main place for like the whole thing. But like I still think like Vulture was kind of taking on that role, and I think he did it well.
I touched on it a little bit in the other podcast that I remember because I was just like listening to it, but I think Ned is so much like I don't hate Harry in the Raimi trilogy. I do not like him in the Tasman movies, but I think Ned is like such a great sidekick because he actually fits with Peter, and he's like lighthearted that they could make jokes and be part of the MCU, but he's also enough to where like he could be a sidekick and his guy in the chair or whatever, but he's actually useful because they're both smart people. And I just buy that more than like the Harry and Raimi, who's kind of like a jock almost, and it's like I don't really. He's not a jock, but he seems too cool for Peter, I guess. So
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's what like adding on to that, like it bothers me kind of when people say like, "Oh, Ned's gonna become like Hobgoblin
yeah, I
or
don't like
whatever."
that.
Like they have like such a close connection that I honestly I don't see like under any
That
circumstance how
that
Ned can
rumor's
just
still
turn
going
evil.
around.
Yeah,
It's
it just
so
doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
yeah, that makes I don't. Yeah, I could never see Ned like betraying Peter in any way. Like I don't know what he could possibly
Yeah,
do,
You know what it
especially.
would feel like is like Anakin to Darth Vader. Like it just wouldn't feel earned. I feel like
yeah,
it's
Yeah,
not convincing.
yeah, but like both their characters already established as like good. Like there's like no changing
Yeah.
their core character traits, whereas Anakin was like already kind of, I mean, not done well, but like he
No,
was,
it was established earlier.
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I think Ned is like a super relatable and good. I mean, I keep using the word relatable, but like these movies are super like I feel like they're definitely the closest depiction of high school I've actually seen in movies. Like most of the time it's super unrealistic. Um, whereas like this was pretty accurate.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's part of the reason that like the older generation is like clinging to the other two Spider-Man and like our demographic kind of like these is because like we feel like more related to it, and like it's something in the MCU that like feels close to home rather than
yeah,
craziness and goofy cartoons.
yeah, yeah.
Do,
I just think these movies are just done.
do you think so Liz is like the main interest and she's not like even a bad character honestly, but was she set up to be the main romantic interest and then like that obviously didn't work, but was MJ meant to be set up for future movies or was that an Easter egg? Because then she just becomes fully the main character in like Far From Home and now we all know her as MJ, but like she was barely in Homecoming and they just throw that in at the end like my friends call me MJ.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't know if it was planned, but like it did kind of feel a little random,
Mm-hmm.
just because she was like
yeah.
had nothing to like didn't want to have much to do with Peter or like anything, and Peter didn't really care for her at all. But
I
like,
think it was just like for the sake of the story, because
Yeah.
like the big twist, like oh the main villain is Liz's dad.
yeah,
Like that part was like so shocking. I think if MJ was like his girlfriend at the time, like there would be no twist at all. I
yeah,
think that kind of just adds to the movie. I kind of get why they did that. It's
yeah,
probably just for that reason. I know it's kind of like a small thing, but it helps the movie a lot,
yeah,
and it worked out, I guess. But
yeah. I mean, if they were to have like, I feel like if they were to have tried to expand on that, like it wouldn't have been really useful information because like it's kind of just stuff that they can do off screen. Say like that Peter developed an interest for MJ. Like that happens in high school. It's just like you don't need to show that on screen. So I
Yeah.
guess it kind of makes sense. It just kind of feels a little sudden.
I what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, about that twist. I like that fully 100% got me. I don't like I'm not like good at predicting stuff, but I didn't even have any hints I felt like towards Liz's dad being the vulture. And I thought that was like not only was it a cool twist for the movie, but like it actually served purpose in relating to Peter, like Steve was saying about Harry
yeah,
Osborn and his dad being Green Goblin. Like that was like one of the better twists in the MCU that actually did
yeah,
something.
yeah, I loved it too a lot because it was just done so well. Because I think it like that part where Tony took his suit away after like Spider-Man did that whole thing with the fairy. and then the movie just kind of like took like kind of a slog. Well, not like in a bad way, but
Yeah.
like it was just time off from the Spider-Man suit. Peter was just kind of like living his normal life again, and like he was preparing for like homecoming after asking Liz out. So like it kind of just took you away from like that whole Spider-Man story, and then like boom, like act like all of a sudden like you find out that the main like I feel like that's what made it more like unexpected and shocking. It
Yeah.
definitely got me.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like I don't get how people don't like these movies or like Tom Holland's character because they're really well written. Like some of the best written stories and characters like that the MCU have had. I feel like Tom Holland's character just in general is like he's just like a good person. Like I don't know how you wouldn't like him. Like compared to Toby and Andrew's depictions of Spider-Man, I don't know. I just feel like they're not. Well, I don't want to say like common accurate because I don't know, but like I know Spider-Man is supposed to be like a really good person, and like I don't see that as much as I do for Tom. You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it's just nostalgia that just kind of makes people angry. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
stupid, but
Even if you're not like a diehard fan, like my dad doesn't watch a ton of Marvel movies, but I remember when we got this back on like DVD, like 2018 or whatever. I remember showing this one to him. You don't need that much background info besides like Tony and then like the Avengers like clean up whatever after the Battle of New York. But like it's so like easily watchable. Like even if Tom Holland's not your Spider-Man, you should still be able to watch that and kind of like appreciate it for how fun it is and like it's a Spider-Man story.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that just has to do with the fact that like it is like mostly a. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like an action movie at all. Really. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like more of a comedy, high school comedy. Like I don't know like what the genre that you know, but yeah, it's just like anyone could pick up that movie and watch it. It's not really. I mean, it's MCU related, but
Yeah.
it doesn't tie much into the overarching arching plot. You know?
And I love how they did not do the origin story again in Uncle Ben because now that they're like 5 years later, now they could go back and do it in an animated show, which they like plan to do. But like we just don't need to see that, and they waste no time like showing that he's Spider-Man already, and then you could get on with the story. And that's what makes it so like the pacing so good and it's so enjoyable is you don't need to watch him slowly watch his uncle die and go through all that. It helps with the tone because if his uncle died in the beginning, would not be able to pull it off. So
Yeah. I feel like the better MCU movies are like learning that the heroes don't need an origin story. Like I don't know. I feel like yeah. I mean, well, most of them are previous heroes, I guess, but like just like newer ones, they don't really have like this.
like Black Panther, like kind of origin story,
Like,
but also they
yeah,
waste no time.
yeah, yeah. I just think they don't really need to show that part that much. They just like give some context, and especially for Spider-Man, which is like such a well-known story. Um, it's just like it's way more exciting to actually see him be Spider-Man like fully developed rather than learn to use his powers.
Yeah. Is that an homecoming?
Um,
I
yeah,
don't really have major dislikes, so
yeah. I mean, I don't have like any dislikes for these movies.
yeah, I just have likes and general thoughts. So I'll just
Like overall, just all the characters are good. Like Aunt May,
MA
Happy,
is so much better.
yeah. Aunt May and Toby's is here.
The one in Andrew doesn't even do anything. She just exists. Like she just floats.
What does she look? Oh, I remember what she looks like.
Yes.
I was like, where's yeah? Yeah, she's I don't know.
But we'll rank all them at the end. So the MCU Spider-Man ones.
Okay.
And then so on to Far From Home. But this is like as I said about Homecoming, you don't need a ton of backstory. This one, like definitely, I feel like would help to definitely watch Infinity War and Endgame because a lot of that ties into
Yeah.
this. But it also could stand alone, I'd say. But
Yeah.
general thoughts.
Um, I think Cosmonaut said this. Like, it's like a perfect movie coming out of Endgame. It kind of jokes about all the events and it plays it off. Like, it's I don't know. It's just like lighthearted movie. Kind of drags you back into the MCU after just seeing multiple of your favorite characters killed. So,
Yeah.
or just written off.
yeah. I saw a lot of other like reviewers aside from Cosmo say like, oh, I hated Far From Home because they treated the snap as some huge joke after years of build up, but like that's just kind of like looking at the whole thing wrong because there are other shows that treat it as if like WandaVision treated it
Yeah.
as like chaotic. Like it was a bad like moment, but it's just like it just works for that movie.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's nothing to really like
I
fuss about.
I agree. I mean, I just think it would be too much to try to talk about the impact of the snap in a Spider-Man movie. Like, I don't know, it just would like take away from the lighthearted humor of the movie.
Yeah, it
I
just
mean,
helps with the tone.
yeah, even Falcon the Winter Soldier addressed like the blip or the snapback or whatever you want. So I like I'm happy that they did that. Like they addressed it lighthearted to keep it within the tone of the Spider-Man movie because they knew they would address it later. And I bet if you asked like those other reviewers now, they'd be a little lighter on Far From Home than they were at the start. And I do hope No Way Home like kind of continues the tone because we keep talking about how they don't keep it like it's super dark. But I know No Way Home's supposed to be more serious, but I hope it still feels like it's part of this trilogy. You know, I don't want it to be like that separate.
Yeah, I mean, especially like coming from the perspective of high schoolers, like this is supposed to be a high school movie, whatever. I feel like most of like I don't want to say we would treat it as a joke, but like I don't know.
Oh,
We
it would be memed.
yeah, exactly. Like we've had like multiple events that are not obviously are not like comparable to this, but like
No.
in 2020 and 2021 they're like pretty major and we've treated them completely as jokes.
Yeah,
Like
it's just it's accurate. Like yeah,
yeah, yeah, I feel like that's how it would be talked about as younger generations, treated it, whatever.
yeah. And
Um,
I like the setting they choose because Far From Home, like obviously it's a whole like whatever road trip type story almost, but it still keeps the high school vibe, and it's also something we haven't seen because Spider-Man has been in New York, and the other two whatever incarnations of Spider-Man. The last one was in a
Yeah.
high school in whatever Queens, but this one like it gives them something to do and new places to go, and it just keeps it fresh, you know. Because I feel like I get like monotonous if it was just in New York again.
that's what they did for every other.
Yeah. Oh, also quick comment. When I was watching our other reviews, we were talking about like all the rumors for we were calling it Spider-Man 3, not No Way Home, because I forgot they didn't release the title forever. Like this movie's
So
been so
long.
behind with everything, like trailers,
Um,
posters.
yeah,
Anyway,
this
but
movie's
I have
insane.
to say something about I want to say something about like the twist, the quote unquote twist of Far From Home. I'm talking about like when Mysterio gets revealed as the villain. And I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
think it's like pretty incredible how like they still managed to pull it off perfectly, even though literally everybody who like knows about comic books was expecting it.
yeah,
yeah.
They just like
They
they didn't
advertised it.
yeah, they didn't do it like the trailer. They depict him as like a good guy, but um in the movie, like it's as if like they don't do it to surprise you. They just kind of like
yeah,
they again play it off as a joke.
yeah. I think Jake
So
Gyllenhaal's acting actually like really sells the character too. Like I don't know. I feel like he switches pretty easily between being like this good guy to being someone who's like completely insane.
Nathan
Yeah, and
hates him,
honestly, I think it's like he's so over the top, but it's almost like I guess
Yeah,
in a good way because like that whole
but
scene
that's
where
like
it's the
yeah,
twist, like it's an exposition dump, but it works and it's not like a boring one because he's so like vibrant.
yeah. I mean, like he's supposed to be like theatrical. Like that's his whole character.
Yeah,
Like he literally sets up illusions. Like
yeah, I know.
every time.
So, but yeah, I get the criticism. This isn't a dislike, but this is like a general criticism that people don't like that people are just offended by Tony and they keep returning and they're just like, oh, Tony Stark looked at me the wrong way in a hallway and now I'm going to become a villain. Like I've just seen that meme all over the place because there's a ton of villains who just come back because they just feel wronged by Tony. So I like him as a villain, but I don't like him more than Vulture because of that purpose. Like I feel like Vulture had a different approach that felt creative.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it was cool to see Tony's impact past his death. Like
Yeah, that
like I think that's what they're trying to expand upon. Like his impact. I mean, with the main character and the main villain, and like showing how. I mean, that
yeah.
creates the plot.
Honestly, I hate to say it, but I think that it's that criticism is like going to continue in No Way Home because Electro, I'm pretty sure Electro is wearing Tony's old
Yeah,
arc reactor. It looks like exactly the same. And I said before, like they're pulling villains from like other multi like universes, but I think this Electro is coming from our timeline. It's not from TASM 2 because that wouldn't make I know Marvel has done stuff where they like just change um people's appearance without
yeah.
really like
Yeah.
anybody really questioning it, but like this is like I just think he's from our timeline.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have a gut feeling he is.
I mean, that's like a possibility. I feel like, um, especially since a lot of people are expecting him to come from TASM. Um, but then what villains would come from the TASM universe? I mean, there's like, oh,
I think
Lizard.
it's just Lizard, yeah.
But then for like
But
Electro, like
Electro,
why would he
like,
be fighting with the multiversal like villains though if he was like from our universe?
For
I
fun.
guess I don't know why
gonna
they're
have
even
to, yeah,
fighting.
I don't know. I
yeah.
mean,
We don't. I like how we don't know much
I
about
know
what
it's
this
good to
movie.
know.
I feel like been given like a ton of footage, but like we still don't know a lot. Like I see it everywhere, like a bunch of like new clips and stuff, but like I still have no idea like what's happening, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go back far from home and then we'll get to
Yeah, I
Peter.
do have a lot of no at home though. So,
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about for that.
but
But far from home.
far from home, I think MJ is she better than I? Okay, she's obviously better than Mary Jane and Raimi, but I know a lot of people actually like Gwen Stacy. You know, like I thought she was fine, but I think MJ is definitely the best love interest. But I don't think people all agree with that because she's kind of quirky and weird.
um, okay. Gwen Stacy and Andrew Garfield's chemistry obviously was like very strong just because they were dating.
Yeah.
But almost to the point where it, like makes you uncomfortable
Hmm.
because like I don't know. It's like they just like what Cosmo said, where they just like started rolling and just told them to be themselves. Because what they
yeah.
talk about
It
sometimes is
feels
like,
unscripted.
yeah,
It's
it's just like not
honestly
relatable.
also, yeah. It's the way the scenes are shot too.
Yeah, it's so
It
strange.
just goes on for so long.
But Zendaya and Tom Holland are dating now, and they're like doing fine. It looks like so.
Yeah, that's true. But like their characters are different
I know. I know.
than their
Yeah,
actual like,
they're
personality.
not like being given like they're not like being told to like okay, just like do whatever
I
Yeah.
know.
action. They're like being given scripts and stuff.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, I think that their relationship uh is also like realistic toward the high school relationship.
Yeah.
Like especially I mean Zendaya's character is like supposed to be weird. I don't know. I mean Tom Holland's character is also they're like both like nerds, you know.
Yeah.
Um so I don't see like anything wrong with that. I guess like Mary Jane's not supposed to be that in like the comics, but whatever. I don't care that much. Yeah.
So I think the last Homecoming, the twist was Aunt May found out that he was Spider-Man, or like I guess that was the end credit scene. But I feel like this one steps up and like has multiple twists. Like Nick Fury's a Skrull for one, which brings up a lot of questions.
Weird.
MJ finds out, and then Mysterio reveals his identity, and J. Jonah Jameson's back. So like I feel like they keep continuing to step up like the stakes and the
And
things that are
Mysterio
revealed.
reveals like that's the main.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they set up so much. That's why I think this No Way Home is gonna feel like Avengers Infinity War. Like all
Yeah.
climax is gonna
Culmination.
pick up like
Going on.
from the beginning.
Yeah. But I like how this one continues like the like I already talked about, I guess, but the tone of Homecoming, but they still kind of make the stakes a little higher. And you can feel Peter trying to struggle to balance his real life with this one. And that was the plot of Spider-Man 2 kind of. But I like the way they handled this better because Spider-Man 2, him losing his powers, I find a little hard to believe, I guess, just because he can't balance it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they just do it better here. I don't know. I just like it's like I don't want to see Toby's character. Like his
Yeah.
Peter is like not interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's the least interesting part of their like I'd much rather see Spider-Man.
I
Um
know. And you
like
don't like, yeah, you don't hate seeing Tom Holland all the time.
yeah,
So
like
it's,
I like his Peter.
yeah.
Um yeah, so it's cool to see him. I don't know. I just feel like the character development is a lot more clear and like obvious and it's well written compared to the other Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Like they don't. I wouldn't say they go through as much growth like as Tom Holland does.
The
in his movies.
okay, this was Soup's criticism, but that's why he had these MCU Spider-Man movies ranked last behind all the other ones. But he said that Tom Holland's Spider-Man didn't go through enough, and like we didn't see him suffer and have pain, and that's why he was excited for No Way Home because supposedly Green Goblin puts him through a ton of stuff like in the trailers and whatever. That's what's rumored. But
Wait, hold on,
I
who said that?
Soups. His opinion isn't
didn't
valid.
believe
I'm just saying it because I heard this and I want to talk about it.
The first thing that came to my head was that scene from Homecoming where he lifts that huge
Yeah,
I know.
like
He
metal
doesn't have.
thing off
I
of him.
know.
Also,
That
he
was
got
like
hit by a
awesome.
train.
And Tony
Yeah.
Stark died.
Yeah, I don't.
Like,
And he
well,
died for 5 years.
And he couldn't not that this is like brutal, but he couldn't like live his life. Like he was struggling to balance MJ and like being Spider like that.
I know.
His whole thing is his lack of,
And what did the other Spider-Man go through that he didn't?
Uncle Ben getting shot.
But that happened. It's
I know.
insane. Like we don't need to see that.
No, it's not, and it's not like I was agreeing with him at all. I just wanted to I think he's increasingly, as well as the tone getting darker, I think he's been faced with more, and I think we'll probably see him suffer more in No Way Home. So
Yeah.
I like how they're doing his arc, and I feel like it's going to feel really consistent hopefully through all three movies.
I mean, like his whole thing is like that he is persistent. I feel like he's
Yeah.
he was, especially in Homecoming. Like that was, even though like he knew, like obviously he's struggling to balance like his um regular life and superhero life, but he always does
Yeah.
it. Whether it's like going after Vulture or going after Mysterio, even though it like gets in the way of his whole life. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's just better character writing.
Yeah. Also I remember when the teaser for this came out. Two things on the teaser, because I remember this was one of my favorite trailers for a while. Like, because I obviously now we have the No Way Home one and the Batman one's cool, and Endgame was a huge one. But like, I remember this one very vividly because they teased the multiverse in this one. And he's like, "You're saying there's a multiverse," and then you see all these like sand creatures and stuff. And I remember seeing concept art for Toby and Andrew. It's way less than now, but like I remember seeing that, and that was huge. And then MJ, they show in the trailer MJ finding out that he's Spider-Man, and I thought that was a major L. And I wanted to talk about that later, I guess, for No Way Home. Like, do we? Oh, I guess we could just flow into it, but like, I don't know. Would you guys have been okay with just a teaser and then not like? Because what if that second trailer gave way too much and we don't know it yet? Like I feel like the teaser gave so much hype initially that like it might not have even needed an official trailer, even though I like having it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't really watch trailers that often.
Yeah.
But like for this one, I had to. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way I couldn't watch it.
I know. I'm not going to avoid that.
Yeah. But I mean, hopefully, it didn't give up too much. I mean, we have like it's like 3 hours of
Yeah.
runtime, so
Like 4 minutes of trailer footage.
yeah, there's no way it gave up like that many major plot points.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there's already gonna be like so many twists. I feel like knowing that the Sinister Six is gonna be in the movie isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I think.
Anyway, to put a bow on Far. Anything else from Far From Home or no?
Yeah, I thought the final fight scene was cool.
Yeah, I like that one too. And how he's this Peter Tinkle.
Yeah, he does. I don't. That's the one I don't like. How they call Peter. Just call it Spider.
I know that's weird.
Peter Tingle. I know it's a joke, but it just makes me angry.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun. I don't know.
I did too, but it's just like he continues to call it that after he's like, "Come on, Peter Tingle." It's like a serious moment. I was like, we know it's just Patterson's.
Yeah, I like how that was like emphasized a lot of his spider sense. I feel like I don't really remember, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like we didn't get much of that in Homecoming. I feel like
I don't
this
think
like made up for that.
It
Yeah, so
no, it was just a given. Yeah, there you go.
The like hair on his arms raising up, pretty much, right? In Infinity War.
Yeah.
Like that was the first time we ever really saw Spider Sense. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like it's in Homecoming, obviously, because he's fighting, but like, I don't
No, I like
Yeah,
it being
yeah,
something to be developed, because it's kind of a given for the other two Spider-Man, so he like gets it over time, kind of.
yeah. And like back to the Peter Tingle thing, that one scene where like the what do you call it, the final battle, like where it's Peter and Mysterio, and then all the drones are like in between them about to attack Peter,
Yeah,
and then like Mysterio like shuts off, like he like casts an illusion, and then you know how Spider-Man says like, "Come on, Peter Tingle," and then he
yeah,
like exhales. I feel like it would have been like corny if he's like, "Come on, Spider Sense." I don't know. That's just
yeah.
me, but
No,
like,
it would have been. It just
yeah,
either way.
Yeah.
yeah, or maybe just not have that line. I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting.
that's like a nitpick, but I remember
Yeah,
it like being a little interesting.
Yeah, that's true. Um, I feel like one thing we didn't get as much as in Far From Home, I think, is like Peter's like what's the word? Quippiness? No, like like
Oh yeah, just
the
like yeah,
like
that's right.
Spider-Man's supposed to like be funny during fight scenes. Like
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, and I think we got a lot of that in Homecoming.
and in Infinity Wars, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember that much of it in. I mean, I don't know.
I think you're
Was
right.
there? Like, yeah. 'Cause I feel like most of the time he was just like really like the fight scenes were pretty serious.
No, yeah, I definitely feel like they shifted it a bit for the fight. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I
Um,
liked that part of Spider-Man, especially watching Spectacular Spider-Man. I like it's funny, and I like how he's like confident in the suit and then kind of shy in person. It's like
yeah.
I mean not like Daredevil, but like almost similar. How he's like humorous during
Yeah,
fights.
Yeah, I feel like in Homecoming, I mean, you guys might not remember, but like at the beginning, where like he's just kind of helping people like out on the street, like
yeah,
he kind of like like takes somebody's bike away, and
Yeah,
then like accidentally like
like
beats up a guy for like thinking that he's like stealing a car. Like I feel like he's
yeah,
trying to be like what you said, like he's trying to like be like, I don't know, what do you say, quippy, you know? But like yeah, I don't know, maybe.
and then there's
There
like
wasn't much of that. But like the Amazing Spider-Man like took it way too far
yeah, it was
to the
no, it
point
was
where
like
he was like evil,
yeah,
kind of.
it was like he took it to the point where it was like distracting him during fights, and it like did not make sense. He
Yeah,
was like letting people die.
yeah. It was. I was like, what the hell?
Toby was quippy, but it was because of that movie. Like I wouldn't say his jokes were out of
It was
place. Like
like
the whole movie.
yeah, but it wasn't the same as like Andrews was like it was the right tone, but it just like was not
Yeah,
good. Toby's was just funny just because it was like funny to hear him talk.
yeah. It just does not fit like Spider-Man's body, like Toby's voice. It's so funny. I I don't know. We could segue this into No Way Home.
We are at let's see, almost 40 minutes.
So to start, do we think there's which characters do we think are in it? And the main list I'd say are Toby, Andrew, Daredevil, and possibly Venom.
Um,
I know this is unlikely, but I hope to God that Kingpin is in it.
I think he's more likely to be in Hawkeye.
But like, yeah, but I don't care if we get a sixth villain. Or yeah, I was gonna say like have Kingpin cameo, but I honestly don't see how he would fit as a cameo. Like, what would he do? So I don't
well,
know.
I feel
I,
like
I would like to have him in either one.
uh, I feel like Kingpin would kind of be like the mastermind if that
Behind the like the multiverse.
well, but
Well,
behind
like
the
it'll
formula
yeah,
to fix. But then he would have like a motivation. He would need to have a motivation against Spider-Man, which
yeah. I mean, not saying that they won't be able to pull it off. Like they probably would find a way to, but like to me, it seems like Kingpin was such like this grounded villain, and now all of a sudden like multiverses are like mixing with each other. Now
Yeah.
all of a sudden Kingpin is just like, oh, I'm gonna take advantage of this. Like maybe yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know. See how like that would work. Like seeing such a grounded villain like with this cosmic like story
He did
and
it at
stuff.
the end of the Spider-Verse, but that was a different Kingpin kind
Yeah,
of.
that was a completely different Kingpin. Like that's not Like that's nowhere near like what I saw in the Daredevil show.
I think
He was
the
just like
answer
an
is
angry dude.
yeah. I
And
think they just teased Daredevil in this. They teased Kingpin in Hawkeye, and I think they just honestly just renew like Daredevil to continue and keep it like I know it's MCU, but I would just keep it bloody gory. I don't know.
It's so good.
yeah, I know. I want it to be. Like I don't see a PG-13 Kingpin. I don't
That
think that would be.
movie, that show is just like full of like just like I don't even. There's so much to talk about. Just the symbolism and like
I
the
It's
kind of
whole.
want to
super
give it a
fleshed
rewatch.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
it'll take you a while.
I know that's the issue.
Yeah.
I just watch recaps honestly, and we could talk about it because I remember a lot, but not like the little details. I guess you know.
yeah. But yeah. I don't know if we're gonna get a Kingpin. But like I know, like at least watching Spectacular Spider-Man the show, if there was Sinister Six team ups, like Doc Ock was a lot more manipulative in that, and he was like, I don't know. I feel like we didn't really get that in the Raimi trilogy. But he was kind of the one forming the Sinister Six. So I feel like there has to be a person
Yeah,
that does that. It'll probably be Doc Ock or Green Goblin. I'm assuming.
Green Goblin is said to be the main villain in this No Way Home movie, but I thought that was interesting because Doc Ock was definitely marketed the most, but I don't know. The rumor is that Green Goblin's the one who messes with Peter the most and who's like kind of the leader, I guess, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
But we have confirmed Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Sandman, Lizard, and Electro.
Well, saying that out loud sounds crazy. Like just like a year or two ago, thinking that these guys would even return, like this seems so
Yeah.
out of the ordinary.
Then six villain, potential six villains. I mean, they have a lot of like just like villains lying around that
Yeah,
are Spider-Man villains. We have Mysterio if he's not dead, Vulture if he gets out of prison, Scorpion.
yeah,
That guy was Scorpion, right?
yeah. That's cool.
Shocker, um, Venom. I think
It's like a Sinister Nine.
yeah. I mean, they could definitely make a Sinister Six pretty easily, but they
Yeah.
need to get one of those or just a completely new one. But I doubt they'll do that. I mean,
Toby and Andrew, thoughts?
They're definitely in it.
I did
Like
not think so for the longest time, but I'm a
yeah,
little more.
they're going.
Lizard jumping at nothing and then
Yeah.
just getting hit
Dude,
in the
I
face by an invisible thing. That was like a mistake, by the way.
there's no
That
way.
just gives
yeah,
it away.
I don't know. His head does seem like he definitely did get punched. I don't know.
The way it like moves is so unnatural. Like that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, based on that,
But also like
I'm not sure, but like would make sense at this point for them to step in. But I don't want it to undermine this whole message of like Peter going against his ideal or his like holding on to this belief he can't hurt or kill someone.
I
Not hurt,
know.
but kill someone. Like I don't want it to undermine and be like, oh, they're gonna do it for you. You know. I hope it
Yeah.
still like tackles that part. Um,
We recently just got like news, I guess, that there's gonna be a whole other trilogy. But I still hope they continue the arc of responsibility and not relying on others like too much. Because not that he leaned on Tony or Nick Fury or any of those people, but like if Toby and Andrew are in it, I hope it's for the sake of like the fans. And I honestly don't want it to affect the script that much. Like this is the one time I feel like fan service would be okay, and not to shove it in like the character development.
yeah. Prediction right now. He is going to end up. I don't know. I don't think it'll be on purpose, but I think one of the villains is. I mean, I don't know if all of them, but like one of them is definitely going to die, and it's going to be Peter's fault. Like maybe on accident or on purpose. Probably not on purpose, but and then hopefully they deal with it in the other movies, like his guilt. Like that, I
Yeah.
think that'd be a cool concept.
I also think he's definitely gonna. I think he's gonna lose someone in this movie. I don't know who it'll be, but I've seen Aunt May and Happy rumors. I've even seen MJ and Ned, but I think it would go ways into like setting up future things and, like you said, his guilt. So
I mean, I would say that like they wouldn't kill off MJ because Gwen Stacy's supposed to be the one to die, but like are
we'll
known
see.
to pick up comic book like so I feel like it's a potential still. Um yeah, and I'm guessing Gwen Stacy is gonna be introduced in the first trilogy or whatever. The trilogy.
Yeah, possibly.
Um. So
Yeah, if they kill off MJ like they did with Gwen Stacy, I feel like it'd be a whole lot less like effective. I
yeah,
don't
I
think
don't
that.
think that
Yeah, so I don't think it's gonna
just
happen.
based on like that, like there's
Yeah.
no way they would reveal it and then actually kill her. Like that'd be stupid.
Yeah, I don't think MJ's gonna die. But I
Especially in
could
the
see.
same way. Like, yeah, Venom's gonna see her. But
To
that,
be honest, I think it's happy. I think it's gonna be Happy. He's been in the MCU for like a way too
Yeah,
long.
I could
Yeah,
see
I
that.
don't see him. I don't see his future in like other movies other than like this one, and that's about it.
And I think he's been
But
there just enough for Peter that it would like hurt him if
yeah,
he lost
yeah,
that.
and like it was. I feel like just based on What If, we kind of got a glimpse of like what Peter would be dealing with if Happy died.
Oh yeah, that's true. No, I
Yeah.
forgot about
I
that.
feel like they would explore that more with an actual.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like thinking about it. If someone died and also Peter had to kill someone, it would kind of be a lot of grief in that movie. But it is gonna be a big movie, so
I just can't believe it's like here. Like I feel like we've been
we
like
haven't-
we were waiting for
That's so
trailers back
sad.
in like July forever. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's gonna be huge. Like there's so much is gonna happen.
You think it's gonna live up to it or be over? Because we see Spider-Man 3 and TASM 2, like they both were overstuffed and like it just did not work.
But it's
I know like they said production was chaos. Like honestly, like you don't know like the production for Infinity War probably was also chaos. To be like, could you imagine like
And they
there's a bunch
just
of different groups like everywhere all over the place, but it still ended up really good. I think No Way Home Rotten Tomato score is going to be in the 80s range, but that doesn't mean, which is obviously really good, but like
yeah.
I don't
because
know.
Infinity War was an 85.
Really?
Yeah, Infinity War got an 85, but the audience score was
It's such bull,
pretty
bro.
high.
I gave it like a 94.
I know, but like I could understand it
Yeah,
because it was
I,
all over the place,
like
but it was pulled off so well. So
Yeah,
I think No Way Home's going to be kind of the same.
I agree. That's valid.
yeah. That is a question. Like, is this movie gonna be more like Infinity War or Endgame? Like, is it gonna be?
I'd say Endgame, honestly, just because Infinity War like had the
Really?
setup
No Way
and you
Home.
knew there was gonna be part 2.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, already bringing back the older villains is a huge fan service.
I know it feels like now it's the culmination of the other two, like well, the trilogy and the duology. I can't call it the other trilogies because there's one of them didn't get a third.
Um.
Nervous. Like I hope it lives up to it. I hope it's like we're gonna enjoy it regardless, just because there's so many people that like
Yeah.
I've watched for years, and but
The
I
cast members did say like that it's the best Spider-Man movie of the three. Which I
yeah,
don't know.
Tom Holland has said
They're
that.
biased, but no, I don't know. I mean,
No, yeah,
it's
and
gonna
even the
be good.
director.
Same director too. Like I think he knows
I
what
think
he's
it'll
doing.
be.
I hope they stick to like getting a really good plot and really good character development rather than servicing the fans. Like, I'd rather see more of what we got from Far From Home and Homecoming than like this huge CGI battle.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, yeah,
And I hope so. For Far From Home, shoot, what was I gonna say? Sorry, why did I just lose my train of thought?
Far From Home.
No, I was thinking about a comparison between the two, but I just completely lost it. Let's see what comes back. I don't know why I just blank.
Yeah, I don't know.
I cannot think of what I was gonna say. I have never like lost it that bad. I was hoping I'd find
On
it.
a completely random topic, what do you guys think the end credit scenes are gonna tease?
I guess Venom maybe. I think Venom's more likely to be in the post credit scene than the actual movie.
If they're introducing new characters, I mean, well, they will be, but like Daredevil or no, because I feel like the Spider-Mans are going to be tossed out, right? There's no way.
Yeah, I think it's a one and done type.
But like if they're to introduce someone like Daredevil or something like that, one's definitely going to be about that.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be one serious post credit scene and one joke post credit scene. I don't know.
Probably do.
Yeah, probably. It's
I guess
probably
they
gonna
do
have
that in
those things.
Eternals, right? Both were
What?
good.
Not really. I mean, did they? What was the first one
Both
even?
were.
I don't even remember what the first post credit scene was.
First was like, wait,
Oh yeah,
was
Harry
that
Styles.
where they got taken away? Wait,
No,
what?
first post credit scene was no, that was at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, no. First one was Harry, and then it was the Black
First one
Knight
was
thing.
Harry, yeah,
Oh
Black
yeah,
Knight
yeah.
with
I guess
Blade.
that kind of is a joke, but normally they end with a joke.
I remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was skeptical of like we were talking about the production and stuff, but I was skeptical of No Way Home's plot because you said you want them to still set it up well and earn it, and all that stuff. And as far as the trailers show, it seems a little weak. Like he just doesn't want everyone to know it, so then a spell breaks loose, and then now he has to deal with all this. But it doesn't feel as set up as the other two. But then again, I feel like in Homecoming and Far From Home, like we didn't really know the full plot because like even though we knew it, Mysterio was teased as a good guy. So I feel like there's more to the story than what's being teased. Like I feel like
Just to be like optimistic, I feel like they only did that in the trailer. Like it's gonna be more fleshed out in the movie,
yeah,
but they just want to like get to showing like multiverse stuff and all this like cool like stuff
I
just to
think you're
get people
right.
excited
Yeah.
because that's what like trailers are for. Like,
Yeah, I think they just
to get
highlighted that
people excited,
aspect.
just to like hype it up.
New question. What is Doctor Strange's role going to be in this movie? Like,
Yeah, that's another
I
thing.
still think it'll remember. So Dan, remember how you were saying like after the trailer, is he more of a main character than we think? But I still think he'll be kind of minimal. Like I think he'll only be towards the beginning, and then he's obviously in that final fight. But I think he'll still be Spider-Man.
If Toby and Andrew aren't in this movie, Doctor Strange is gonna have like a much bigger role.
Oh,
Doctor Strange can
100%.
slap all six of them
Yeah, I know.
so easily.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't, but I don't see Tom Holland going against these six like a sand giant, a freaking mutant lizard,
I know.
like all these guys. Like I don't.
No, he's definitely not going to be alone. Like, there's,
Yeah,
but
What's this? Doctor Strange?
realistically, Doctor Strange is gonna like kill all of
But he's got his own multiverse movie coming up, So like I think
them. Yeah.
that's the only reason I think he won't be like
Oh
super.
yeah, that's back to the post-credit scenes. That's probably what it's gonna tease.
Oh, that's true.
Multiverse of Madness.
But we also thought WandaVision would do that, but did it really? It was kind of weird.
Yeah, I think that was too
also
early
that
for that.
movie was supposed to come out before this movie, so
I don't like that still, by the way. That's a horrible sign.
No, because I feel like that would have been more interesting. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it would have been better written if that movie came out.
That is true.
That's what scares me.
Multiverse would have been introduced much better.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
where does
mean,
Loki tie in?
they had time to change it like pretty well, right? It's not going to be like 2016
I think
Suicide
it's
Squad
still
where they
really
changed it within
good.
like months or weeks even.
Yeah, I think it's still gonna be good. I'm sad that I don't get to see what it was originally gonna be.
Yeah, I know.
Even better.
Hopefully it
Good
doesn't come
cover.
down to the Snyder Cut type deal where we get it 5 years later and just like here's what we were gonna do.
Yeah. But yeah, back to your question on Loki. I think I don't know. Like, honestly, I have no clue who broke. I mean, it has to be Loki who broke the multiverse, right? Like,
But they're making it seem like it's
I
not. Like
know, and I don't get it.
like Loki almost feels like it's just its own little multiverse bubble. But then it had to do with What If, I feel like, for sure, because I don't know, it's so weird.
Yeah, multiverse. I mean, Loki was supposed to be like the biggest event of Phase 4, and now
But
it's like,
it feels toned down now, though.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like it's still gonna play a role. Like people were saying, and I kind of agree. Like that scene at the end of the trailer where the sky is like purple and there's like lines going through it, and Doctor Strange's like, oh, they're starting to come through.
Yeah.
I think that's like a result of like the Loki thing. But like the spell, I think it had to. It's kind of I don't know.
But
They're
what are
gonna
the? I
play
mean,
like it was different. Like it
maybe
kind
the
of did
Loki
something else.
thing. Maybe it happens at the same time as the spell, and that's what messes it up. Maybe because I don't know.
Because we don't, because like you don't know how the like, sure, like you know like a spell went down, but like we haven't seen the movie yet, of course. So there has to be more to the scene during the
Yeah,
spell.
I
So there's
doubt
gonna
it's
be
just interrupting.
yeah, it's not So I think they're like Peter's just gonna like say more stuff that we're not like aware of yet. That's gonna actually like screw up the spell, and it's gonna make more sense.
Or who knows? Maybe
That's
that
just
scene's not
my
even in the movie. Maybe they just. I think that's been a thing that they
yeah.
do. I wouldn't.
yeah.
Something that major. I don't know.
Right.
Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
What does the box do?
I don't know.
That's another thing. People said it's like a pocket dimension for like or the pocket like prison for like the multiverse villains.
I could see that because the way he has that
like
black
they're
suit
supposed
with
to like
things, yeah.
they're supposed to
seems like
get
he's
them
trying to
back to
capture.
their universe, not to trap them in like this box.
Yeah, no, I think
So-
the suit, whatever was given by Doctor Strange to try to get them back, but then that doesn't work. So then Doctor Strange is like, you have to kill them. But then he tries to take the box. I mean, that's how I understood it.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously the trailer can be misleading,
yeah.
but yeah, I don't know what the box does, but
Mhm.
yeah, we'll see. I hope Mephisto comes out. I'm just like, ha, and none of the other stuff matters. It's just him.
Dude, okay.
What, what if
Watching our
the
WandaVision, like, because I was watching us talk about it in the moment of watching WandaVision. Like, they set up a lot for Mephisto to be there. Like, the devil's in the details, and like the
yeah,
color red
like
was like reoccurring. Like, I cannot believe they didn't put him in it. Still, I'm
you guys
happy
were
they did.
you guys were shitting on me for that. I was telling you.
You're
Not
just
at the time necessarily, but I shouted it after it happened because I was like,
guys, no, we did so much.
no, but like there was genuinely like a decent amount of evidence that like he could be in it.
It's like it's so. Mephisto is probably the most popular villain to have not been in a movie right now.
Oh, it's such a
Like,
meme now too. Everyone's
yeah,
acting like
so many people like people, not even like non-comic book readers, like know who he is. It's insane.
Yeah, it's funny.
I cannot. They fumbled the bag.
No, they didn't. I'm glad he
Yeah.
went.
And
Just
speaking of villains, I think Kang is going to be teased in one of the post credits along with like Doctor Strange, because like who's supposed to be the main villain of Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness?
you know, I think
Mephisto.
Kang is gonna be Ant-Man.
Yeah, Kang was confirmed for Ant-Man, but he's also showed up now,
Yeah,
kind
but
of.
like
Yeah,
it makes sense for him to like show up in Doctor Strange too.
yeah. I guess that's true. I don't think he's gonna be a main villain for three different things though. We have
Yeah,
Loki.
I thought like the approach this time was to have Kang more prevalent in like other movies
Yeah,
rather than like with the Thanos like thing, like he
Yeah, no,
appeared in
I
like the
think they're for
last
sure
two.
doing that.
Yeah,
They set him up immediately in Loki, so I think yeah.
yeah.
oh
Anyway, well, I have to go because I have homework. But
yeah. And that's a good discussion. We got around was around an hour, 56 minutes, but
I liked the podcast. I missed it.
it's good.
It's refreshing
It is.
to get all your ideas out.
Well, I like having it on video
Yeah,
too because
true.
I watched all the WandaVision ones. It's really fun like hearing our thoughts week by week and like seeing how it all played out. So
Yeah.
This is prediction right now. If I'm right, then I am podcast genius.
exactly that was the good part about the
Gonna
WandaVision
be
stuff.
ready. Peter is gonna go Doctor Strange, do spell, and then to soup, and then he's not gonna want to kill someone, but then he's gonna have to, but then get the box. But I don't know what the box does. But then somewhere in there, someone has to try to help him. But then when he's fighting, Green Goblin's gonna die. It's gonna be Green Goblin. I'm calling it now. He's gonna die. And Peter's like, "Fuck! Oh shit! I forgot we don't cut. Whatever." And
It
then,
doesn't matter.
Actually,
and Green
I think
Goblin's
it's gonna be
gonna die.
Doc Ock.
No, Green
But
Goblin's gonna die, and then Peter's gonna be sad, and then end.
okay.
Here's my ranking of the movies. I don't know. Far From Home and Homecoming swap back and forth, and No Way Home hasn't come out yet. So there's that.
Homecoming has been ahead of Far From Home for like a while on my list.
Far From
I think
Home,
the last list I sent you, Nathan, I don't think it's
Spider
changed.
Verse,
I think that's like my final list right now.
Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 2, TASM 1, TASM
Yeah,
2. No.
Phasm 2, Spider-Man 3, Venom 2. Venom. Oh, also do the Venom movies count as Spider-Man movies? I don't even know.
Mm.
I don't
Venom 2 was so funny. I could like that.
know.
It was honestly like good
I
because it was
know. It was,
bad and funny, and like it was good that it didn't carry. It was like only an hour and 30 minutes, so I
It
enjoyed
was so
myself.
fast
I
paced.
know. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was like good. Like it was just funny.
Carnage just dies kind of like unceremoniously.
The
yeah, it
movie.
was so weird. Like he
Carnage
just
is
like
like a big dude. A college he just
he
died.
gets separated from like his host, and then Venom just like fuck this guy,
Eat
and then
him.
eats him.
The movie's hilarious. I'm glad that we watched it. Better than the first.
Also, wait, do you guys? This is off topic. In that movie, do you remember like I don't remember who that guy was. I think he's like a security guard or I don't
Yeah,
know.
the
But
guy
like
gets set up for another symbiote.
yeah, he gets his eyes turned blue or
Yeah, I
something.
know. He's
What
supposed to
was
be.
that?
I
Like
heard he was
that's
supposed
not.
to
I
be
know that's
toxin
not
or
gonna
something.
go anywhere.
Who was that? The first one? Or this one?
Second
No,
one.
the second one.
Wait, when did this happen?
That the guy who's supposed to die, like this Daily Bugle dude, he doesn't, and his eyes turn blue.
It was so fast. The scene was like
It's
5 seconds.
supposed to be like Toxin, I saw, or some other symbiote
Mm.
that they're setting up. I don't know.
There's a lot of them.
Is Toxin supposed to be like the most powerful one or something?
I think he's just another branch of Carnage, but I don't think he's. I don't know if he's more
Oh,
powerful.
it's like it's weird. Carnage. I mean, they kind of did it. Carnage supposed to be like the son of Venom, and then this kind of like, and then they're all like the sons of Carnages.
They do so much symbiote shit. Like it's gonna get boring. Like we
I
already
I
had
don't know
two
how much
movies on
longer you can make a
symbiote.
Venom movie for.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
He's
Let
not
There Be
supposed to have his
Carnage
own
should have been the
franchise.
first Venom movie. It would have been pretty solid.
Venom 3 won't come out for a while, and he's gonna like take a bigger role in the MCU for a bit, and then go
Yeah.
back to his own movie. Hopefully, maybe, or maybe go back to his own universe. Like I don't know how that's gonna work with universes, like going back and forth.
Anyway,
Anyway, we're gonna be having a Human Centipede podcast
No.
next
yeah,
week.
stay tuned for that.
Well,
Yeah,
It's gonna be like a walkthrough. Like we're gonna have the movies playing. We'll just like talk about what we're
yeah,
seeing.
we'll have it like we'll have some
no,
clips playing
we
too.
just won't even talk. We'll just let it play.
Yeah, we'll just watch it. You guys could just see our like facial.
It's just gonna be yeah. We should do a reaction video.
Yeah.
Reaction video of us.
That would be rated like R times 12.
Okay. Okay. We
Follow our
are
socials.
going to end it here. So for TikTok, Instagram,
Wait,
podcast _time_times. Nathan is going to be posting more.
yeah. Is it click the video here and then the channel here?
Channels here. Wait,
No,
I don't know if it's
whatever. It
gonna-
doesn't matter.
channels
You
here.
should post on TikTok more actually.
No,
Like,
I
we could
should
actually
because
like
it
get more
actually blows up.
followers.
It was easier
Yeah.
during online school because I would watch it during class and I could crop the clips I liked.
No,
But now
what we need to do is we need to say some really, really controversial shit
I opened
to
with
attract
it by
attention.
saying-
Yeah,
yeah. No, the prequel
like
one
you
was
did
so
with
funny.
yeah.
Clip right here. I hate Andrew Garfield and Tasm, and the movies are complete hot garbage. And Toby is funny because it's bad. Okay, put that in a TikTok clip.
Yeah, the Toby movies have not aged well, but they
Yeah,
hold
the-
up better as comedies now.
The MCU Spider-Man movies are miles ahead of Tobey's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
it's so much better than Spider-Man 2.
Okay. So follow, like the video, comment down below.
I'll use that clip.
You know, we're gonna be. No, we're not.
It might be spotty for a couple months, but we will be consistent once.
We're like making schedules and stuff, guys.
Yeah,
We're
Danny, you didn't hear about this. We're gonna try maybe a spreadsheet or something where we could have a
Winter
calendar.
break is coming up. Like, we should be fairly consistent by then.
Haha, you're assuming I don't have basketball games every other day and practice.
Listen, the toll that
That
it's
if this video blows up, I want you all to encourage my friend Nathan here to quit.
Okay, I don't.
I'm also
Not going to quit.
No, you are.
Anyway, wrap up.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. So subscribe if you're not. You know, do all that stuff.
And let me know what you think of the new jingle and the intro.
Yeah, I don't remember what it sounded like anymore, but you know.
I don't either, but we'll hear it.
Like didn't.
Also, if you've got this far, in the comments, what's your favorite color pineapple? Okay, bye.
Okay. Everyone say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Danny say bye.
Bye.
Bye.